All right, everybody, and welcome back to episode number 38 of Show Choir Nation. I am your co-host, William. Alongside me is my co-host, Ethan, and it is the season.
Yep, time to be holly and jolly. Checking the list twice. Whatever. I'm forgetting all the other catchphrases already.
We're 30
yeah.
seconds in and we're off the rails.
Yeah.
Sure.
We're gonna have a fun little episode. You know, we were like, you know what? Let's do a little Christmas special for the people. This is gonna be fun. Maybe it'll be a new tradition or something, and to hold us over until choir season starts in 2026, which is crazy to think about. It's only a few days away. So, yeah, and I mean, yes, it's gonna be a Christmas thing, but we have some show choir news to break, right, Will?
We may or may not. There may or may not be some show clips interspersed in here. There may or may not be some new things to the show choir community going on that we're going to maybe potentially break or not break later on. Who knows? We'll see.
I mean, at the time that they're seeing this, though, I forgot that this isn't live, but at the time they're going to see this, like, it's going to be like a week or two old.
So, yeah. But we had
breaking news over here.
We had like 8 competition lineups get released today when we're recording this. And there's some pretty big hitters on there. Johnston Shozam schedule dropped. That looks to be a very, very stout schedule. Waukees on there, Urbandale's on there, plenty of other good groups. Mm-hmm. Mississippi Show Choir Invitational, West Jones and Northeast Jones going at it in large division. Waconia Star Power, really interesting matchup. Bloomington Kennedy, Millard North, Iowa City, 3 groups from different states there. Toma schedule right at the beginning of the season, El Paso versus La Crosse there. LD Bell, Broken Arrow versus pretty much the Texas top 5 minus LD Bell. We have so many. We have the Lewis Central lineup, Gretna, Millard South, Papillion, La Vista South. We also have Hastings, Nebraska, Grand Island, Lewis Central, Lincoln High, Lincoln Northwest, Aurora, Kearney, Vista Ridge, plenty of players in that one. And then also at the beginning of the season, Van Buren, we have Piqua in that one. We have Marion Harding in that one. We have Euclid in that one. So plenty of players in that one as well.
Isn't it crazy? I mean, you and I, we talked about this kidding earlier in the fall. We were like, you know what, we need to start a national holiday where everyone drops their comp lineups on the same day, and it's like Christmas. And we basically got a preview of that today. I forgot who said it in one of our group chats. We're like, this is Christmas. This is Christmas.
Shout out our man Dylan for saying it was like Christmas Day, because it really was. It seemed like every hour someone was texting me and like, hey, do you see that the Chillicothe Chili Grooves Show Choir Festival lineup dropped? And we'll talk about Chillicothe later.
It was also funny because somebody was like, how many comp lineups dropped today? And I think Dylan was like 7. And then it was like maybe 10 minutes later, he said, oh, wait, 8 just dropped.
Here's another one. Yeah. So it's the season of generosity. Competition directors, thank you for releasing your lineups before Christmas. It certainly gives all of us who are off of school or off of work over Christmas week a lot to dwell on. Double checking our predictions. That's what you mean when you say double checking the list. Double checking your first place, second place, best vocals, best choreo when you're making your predictions on the Show Choir website. But predictions, bit of a controversial topic. And also on controversial topics, we're going to go over our Show Choir naughty and nice lists.
This is going to be fun.
We're going to have opinions about this. You're going to have opinions about this. So if you have different opinions, feel free to drop them in the comment section if you're watching on YouTube. I'm unsure if you can comment on an episode on Spotify, but if you're watching or listening on Spotify and you feel the need to comment, go comment there as well.
Drop a like the episode. Give us a 5 stars. Unless you don't like it, I guess. But don't be naughty. Be nice. It's a season of giving.
Now that we got our shameless plug for subscriptions and likes and reviews out of the way, we're going to do show themes for our naughty and nice list. So this is going to be super interesting because I feel like there are plenty of shows that go on and some people like them and some people don't. Is some show themes that are not landing on neither the naughty nor the nice list simply because too many people have done them. Circus shows. So anything that involves a number from The Greatest Showman, Circus by Britney Spears, we've seen it too many times. It's over. Also, monster shows. I'm in love with a monster, zombie, anything like that. Done too many times. Not eligible for the list. Lastly, anything with the song "Wings" by Little Mix.
No, that's fine. It's honestly a classic at this point. So
that has been done 55 times according to the show choir website.
You can't kill tradition. You can't kill tradition.
And tradition goes on neither the naughty nor the nice list. Tradition goes on its third category called tradition. And so those are some of the shows that you will not be seeing in the naughty and nice list. But the first theme is historical shows. So these are shows that tackle a specific time period. They may be about a certain country in a particular time period, or they may just be generally about a time period. So examples of these shows, we have Center Grove's Bohemia show from this past season. We have any assortment of shows that may be about the 1920s. So any kind of Great Gatsby-esque show we're looking at here. Any kind of decades or centuries shows. So anything that may go from like early 1900s to 21st century, or anything that goes from like 1700s, 1800s, 1900s, 2000s. Ethan, are you putting historical shows on the naughty list or on the nice list?
I feel like there's such a fine line within historical shows that it either makes you lean one way or the other. And I'm kind of thinking for my naughty and nice list, I'm kind of going on the lighter half. So I think I'm going to put it on my nice list. I feel like a good show done well. And I love the direction that you can go with these. If you get really creative and do it the right way, and it's different and it's unique. Groups I'm thinking of, Ankeny, when they did their Out West / Pioneer show, I believe. Was that 2 years ago?
2025.
Oh, it was last year. Or this year. So I mean, that was a great show. But then I'm also kind of thinking of like the littler groups, like you said. I feel like there's like a lot of little Gatsby's every now and then. However, they're always fun. You know, a little party don't kill nobody until it does. But I'm gonna put this on my nice list. I feel like when groups do it the right way, it's a show you can't miss. However, I feel like if it's not, the production wise isn't all the way up to the standard, it could fall on someone's naughty list.
Very fair. I definitely get what you're saying. A Little Party Never Killed Nobody. Almost a Wings-esque song. Almost show choir tradition at this point. Maybe not quite there. I will say, as the son of a high school history teacher, history shows of all kinds go on my nice list.
Yeah.
Full stop. Whether it's just about the 1920s, or whether it's a Motown show about the 50s, or whether it's a show about life in the 1800s.
Or like
I don't know.
The space race, stuff like that.
Iowa City High.
Yeah,
Iowa City High's 2020, I think, or 2021. One of the two. Iowa City High. Shout out. But yeah, just full stop on the nice list. History, not the field that I chose to go into, certainly one of my academic interests. So history shows, 1.5 nice lists for history shows.
Nice.
Second category of shows, child media shows. So this could be anything from a children's TV show, anything like a children's movie show. So if, let's see, we have a Chicken Little show, or a Finding Nemo show, or anything like that, this would fall in here. Or any kind of other child experiences when it comes to books, movies, songs, things like that.
So I'm going to put this on my nice list. Reason being, I feel like, backing up a little bit, I feel like these are money makers for junior high groups. Money makers. I feel like if you have a show like this and you have a group, who does all three phases very well, they have a great combo, they can sing and they can dance. And of course the show design be really good. I feel like that's a money maker when it comes to GCs, or at least just show design in general. When they're done at the high school level, they need to be done right. and I feel like recently I have seen them done right more. I'm trying to think of some on the top of my head. Um, do. Throw some in there, Will. I'm trying to think of some on the top of my head I've seen. Oh, like Super Mario Bros. Like, would you count that in here?
Mhm. Yes. We'll throw video games in here too.
Yeah, video games.
Lincoln Southwest Chicken Little Show 2024.
That show was phenomenal. That show was phenomenal all the way through. However, I think it just needs to be done right, but I don't want it like backing off of. It needs to be its own thing. Do you get what I'm kind of saying? Like saying where it needs to like. Don't use soundtrack all the way throughout. Don't use tad bits that are the same. If you throw in your own flair and it still has the same meaning, it still tells the same story, I feel like that's a big hitter for some show designs.
Fair. And lucky enough for you, you're going to get several more of those this upcoming year. We had Instagram set reveals all the way back in summer. All 3 Elkhorn South choirs are doing shows based off of children's books. I believe there's a Where's Waldo show. There's an I Love You Always Forever show. And the last show, I'm forgetting what it is, but I feel like it has something to do with the jungle. But
I forgot, like, Goodnight Moon, Linmar. Dude, that's one of the all-time shows of all time. like it was just so cool. And they they use their own songs or whatever. They used Stephen Dave, Dancing in the Street. They did really cool things, and the colors were fantastic. They popped off the stage and stuff like that, where it's like, yes, they may look like young adults or whatever, but they still have that child within them. I think that's a huge key.
And against all of that, I'm going to put them on my naughty list.
I do.
Yeah, you do when I pause before saying something.
Yeah.
I think I will take aside the junior highs out of this because
junior high show choir, yeah.
Junior high show choir means something different to every single school who does it. But once we get in the high school realm, like you said, Ethan, there's a very fine line in these. And I just struggled to consistently find shows that toe the line to my liking. And this is just entirely personal preference.
Yeah.
I feel like either it's super easy to, if you are really, really committed to the bit, just get swallowed up in the first couple of characters and lose the choirs, which we're certainly going to talk about that kind of thing in another category later on.
Yeah.
Or if you decide to do your own songs and do a bit of a looser interpretation, it kind of wanders away from the thing that it was originally supposed to be about. And so certainly not trying to disrespect the groups that have done these. Obviously, like you said, Goodnight Moon, one of the all-time shows. Chicken Little from Lincoln Southwest, also a show I saw live, a show that I saw very well.
Crazy.
Personally, just not my forte. So we'll move on to weather shows. All kinds of weather shows. Anything from your run-of-the-mill rain show to a tornado show to a snow show to a seasons show. Ethan, are weather shows getting put on the naughty list or the nice list?
I think you brought up a really good point, Will, when you were introducing weather shows. I feel like rain shows, yes. I am in on rain shows. All other weather, naughty. I'm on the naughty list for weather. There's just so many songs about rain that I love so much that just kept popping in my head. I was like, I can't turn my back on them. Like, Can You Stand the Rain, Purple Rain, Clear Water, or whatever it is. Can You See the Rain?
Have you ever seen the rain?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking of all the rain songs. They're all coming to me.
You don't even listen to Creedence Clearwater Revival. What's even going on? Come on, man.
Dude, so rain is a nice all the way, because I feel like there's so many different interpretations, and I feel like kind of going back to like the childhood type of stories, like you said earlier, where it's like a loose interpretation. I feel like within a lot of story shows, there is a weather element in the show that takes on like a life of its own. However, these are strictly like just weather shows, so I'm just kind of going. They're gonna go on the naughty list. Rain, good, nice. Wind, sun, tornadoes. I'm putting them on the naughty.
All right. Well, since we're picking and choosing, I'll pick and choose within this subgenre as well.
It's so hard. It's so, I mean, it's just so broad, but it is a theme that is done throughout show choir every year.
And this one's tough too, because like if you just want to do like a generic weather show, there's pretty much your default set of songs. There's going to be Mr. Blue Sky by the Electric Light Orchestra on there. Walking on Sunshine by Katrina and the Waves is going to be on there. Riding the Storm Out by REO Speedwagon is going to be on there. Caught in the Storm from Smash is going to be on there.
Yep.
Dare I even say the L word and say that there might be a song about a lighthouse in a show about weather?
That's what I say, like a lighthouse show. It's pretty much weather. It's pretty much a weather show.
I am in on tornado shows, and I am out on all the rest of the weather shows.
What? Not, you don't like rain? It's overdone. It's oversaturated.
Yes, there are plenty of good songs about rain. It's just that everyone from directors to arrangers seems to pick like 5 of them, and we're gone. So, and I will say, I want to preface this by being like, I want to empathize with all of our show choir friends who've been hit by devastating tornadoes over the years. Enterprise in 2007, Joplin in 2011, I want to say, maybe 2014. But Enterprise in the late 2000s, Joplin in the early 2010s, everyone else who's been affected by tornadoes. But I've always just been kind of fascinated by them. Obviously, there's a Twisters movie that came out last year in mid 2024. I'm hoping that, because like that music just missed the cut to make 2024 shows. But I'm optimistic that we'll see some good ones. You throw in some tornado classics like Chasing Twisters by Delta Ray. And I don't know if I've seen a specific show about this, but I would not be opposed to a blizzard show as well. Like a very specific subset of a weather phenomenon, you know, and like, you know, like, or maybe like a snow day set, maybe like a day off of school, and like you have a song about like trying to get to school, but you can't. I don't know.
That's a good one. The movie Snow Day, like with the guy with the snowplow, he tries to ruin everything. Have you ever seen that one? It's like a Disney movie. I think it's called Snow Day.
Sorry, my Disney Plus subscription expired years ago.
It's all good. Well, like going back to Twisters and what you said, like, do you mess with like Wicked shows? Like if it has the Twister in it and the house lands on it?
I mean, I do, but I also more so just respect Wicked shows for being Wicked shows.
I was gonna say,
and because there's a lot of good music out of that, and
I was gonna say
because it's all the rage nowadays. So,
what about Ain't No Love in Oklahoma? Luke Combs.
Will
I keep chasing that same old devil down the shore.
You know, Luke Combs is a little too mainstream for me. I'm in my early 20s.
I'm talking about like as a show choir.
No, Ain't No Love in Oklahoma. I would be shocked just purely based off of the amount of music on that Twisters album, because there's a good like over a dozen songs on that Twisters album. Would not be surprised if like Ain't No Love in Oklahoma showed up on a set list or 2 this year. Touchdown by Flatland Cavalry showed up on a set list or 2 this year.
Dude, that whole soundtrack is unbelievable. Like the amount of people that are on it, like Tyler Childress, Bailey Zimmerman, Luke Combs, and I know I'm missing a million other people, but like it's insane.
Yeah, so I am in on tornado shows, especially ahead of this year, hoping that this year will be a banner year for tornado shows. All other generic weather shows, generic storm shows, rain shows, even season shows, naughty
like
list.
Here Comes the Sun. That's a no.
Yeah, unless you're a junior high group. Junior high groups are the only groups allowed to do Here Comes the Sun by the Beatles.
Right.
We're going to move on to arguably what I think is going to be the most controversial show theme of this segment, and that is showsicles or jukebox shows. So these are shows where the entire set is taken from either one musical or one artist's catalog. Some examples of this: Sauk Prairie does a showsicle every year where all of their selections are songs from the same musical. Oak Mountain this year did an Elton John set. A loose version of this, Brandon Brio 2025, they did a goat show, which was not themed but medleys of specific artists. Also, We had Loveland Allure doing a Dolly Parton show this year, and Center Grove Debtones doing a Hello Dolly show in which it was half Hello Dolly and half Dolly Parton. So showsicles, jukebox shows, Ethan, are they going on the naughty list or the nice list?
So, I mean, all these are preference, right? I feel like this was the most preference one, though, that we'll probably come across. Example being, when I was in You've Got Mail, all male choir at Mount Zion, I pushed heavy for a jukebox show of Justin Timberlake because that would hit so hard. I love JT, JT coming. So it's like I would have done shows like that, and I love shows like that. I thought when Oak Mountain did all Elton John, it was cool. However, as a spectator, I'm kind of on the side of no, because I like seeing, directors get creative. Does that make any sense? I feel like when it's like, a Susical or Showsicle or a jukebox show, you can go on Spotify and look up a playlist or an artist, and it has their top songs all in a row. I feel like that's really easy, and I'm not saying this is not against any director who ends up doing it, because if you end up doing it right, it's a great show. However, I love seeing get a little creativity with different genres and different artists, different voices, and kind of like in that show design type of deal. So I'm not totally against them. They're kind of on the line for me. So, but I'm gonna go naughty. But I feel like if you do them, if you do them right, they're nice. But I'm gonna go on more the naughty side. And the day Sauk Prairie does anything different, the world's gonna explode. So, so Sauk Prairie, don't switch up.
I was gonna say I grew up in a household with Sauk Prairie ties, loose Sauk Prairie ties, but Sauk Prairie ties nonetheless.
Mm-hmm.
And Sauk Prairie and Mayville were two of my absolute favorite shows. My first year ever doing show choir. Lost to them both at different points in the season, beat them both at different points during the season. So it's certainly not either of those. The jukebox shows as well, seen definitely my share of them. I think to address something you said, I think if you choose the right musical or the right artist, I think the diversity of selections will take care of itself.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Like Michael Jackson, I feel like he hits so many different ranges. Elton John, like Oak Mountain did, he just all of his songs are just a little bit different in ways, like beat switch ups and stuff. But yeah, you're right. You're right.
And so for me, they're going to land on the nice list. The other thing is that I think, especially as we move farther towards, a lot of groups are doing either story shows or shows that are themed more complex than they were in the past. Watching a show that's not just a random collection of songs thrown together loosely themed, but it's actually like, here's the same artist, here's the same musical. Maybe it tells a bit of a story, maybe it doesn't. There's still that common thread, but yet it's an easy show to digest, and it can be a show that's designed well. And in fact, like at the intersection of this pretty much lays the ABBA show or the Mamma Mia show, depending on which way you want to go with it, depending on whether you want to exclusively stick with songs that appear in the musical or not. Mm-hmm. I've seen that done. I've enjoyed that. So for me, they're going to go on the nice list.
Yeah, I feel like there's no right or wrong answers to any of these, because there's definitely shows that I've loved that have been on the jukebox, and same with the showsicles. I can't tell you how many Daniel Hand / Greatest Showman shows I've seen in my lifetime, a million probably, and they're all done a little bit differently too. So,
and if you want to hear thoughts about a show about a jukebox or a show involving a jukebox, you will have to ask Ethan directly, because that's a bit out of the scope of this podcast.
Crazy pull by you, by the way. I wasn't like, I'm not.
Thank you.
That's a year after me too. That's crazy.
Sometimes Unk's got a trick up his sleeve or two. Who knows? Yeah. We're going to talk about road trip shows. Road trip shows. So anything related to Route 66, anything related to highways. We might even throw small town shows in here.
Oh, yeah. Might as well.
So, I mean, I can't name off any specific ones off the top of my head, but I think we've all seen Get Your Kicks on Route 66 done once or twice. We've all seen Life is a Highway by Rascal Flatts done once or
Oh, yeah.
twice. So road trip shows in general, Ethan, naughty or nice?
This one's kind of tearing me because some of my favorite shows of all time are road trip shows. However, I'm thinking like generically, I'm kind of over, hearing the very generic Life is a Highway type beat. I mean, Route 60, there's so many different variations of Route 66 that like I could get behind. However, like Life is a Highway and that kind of thing, I'm kind of over it. I feel like those are like if I'm there sitting there as a spectator, I'm watching a comp, I feel like that's a show I'm gonna forget. Like throughout the whole concept of a day, I feel like I'm gonna forget it. One of my favorite shows of all time was 2016 Mount Sinai Twin Stations, and they did Route 66, but they hid their traveling in different ways. Like they did a song about a Greyhound. They did, they did songs about being in California. They did songs about
Like your planes, trains, and automobiles type show?
Yes, kind of. Yes. And it's not like they're saying, hey, we are on a road trip. We are driving. It's just like, oh, here's things you see on a road trip. Like singing songs about that. It's not really like telling you every single moment we're in a car, we're driving down the road, type of thing. It had a little twist to it. So, overall, I feel like I'm going to put these on the naughty list just because I feel like in the grand scheme of things, like it's a show that I would forget like in terms of like show design I see throughout a day. I just feel like it kind of takes a backseat in the car. No pun, but yes.
Oh, I thought you were going for the.
Oh, it definitely was a pun.
I was about to applaud you.
I had to say no pun.
No pun, no applause. I'm gonna agree with you in the aspect of it's tearing me because road tripping is actually one of my favorite hobbies. This past summer, I took several road trips.
We're two Midwestern guys. I mean, we drive.
Like what do you do in summer at night when you're 16 except go and drive around the back roads for fun?
Yeah,
like it's just ingrained in the fabric of living in the Midwest. And so I love the highway. I've put more miles on my cars over the years than I really care to admit. I've driven a lot of interstates, a lot of state highways, seen a lot of great stuff along those roads. But again, like you said, Ethan, there is just kind of like this base set of songs where it's like, shut up and drive, get your kicks on Route 66. Life is a Highway, maybe like Free Ride or Can't Drive 55.
Oh yeah.
I think I'm going to put road trip shows proper on the naughty list. But I'm going to hit a side tangent here, and I'm going to say that racing shows go on the nice list.
Okay, you know
like,
what?
I'm gonna move over here, and we got the race car flag. So race car shows go on the nice list. So Newcastle 2025, DeKalb's Girls a while ago.
Girls, right? Girls.
No, that had AI slop as a screen background and screens. So that one actually goes on the naughty list.
Oh, okay.
But yeah,
it was a race car show, correct?
It was an Indiana show that included a couple of race car songs. Yes.
Okay.
Newcastle had an entirely race car dedicated show. So,
well, aren't they like the Red Hot?
They're the Red Hot Blues. Yeah.
And one of their profile pictures is them like hanging out around a car. I don't know why I remember that, but they hang around like a blue or a yellow like Volkswagen.
Yeah. So. Yeah, so racing shows, nice list. Road trip shows. If I could not put them on either list, I wouldn't. But they're unfortunately going to go on the naughty list. Rounding out this segment, which if you're still listening to this segment, a half hour in, good for you. Sports shows, any kind of sports ball shows, football shows, basketball shows, baseball shows, hockey shows, soccer shows, lacrosse shows, Wii Sports shows. I'll throw in here.
Oh.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Okay. I mean, now you make me want to try to come up with some quick show designs now. This is kind of what it's making me do.
Okay, I'm gonna see if I can Let me see if I
Like,
can
can you imagine like
share.
a Wii Sports resort show?
Well, there was a Wii Sports show this past year. Let me see if I can pull this up here.
Like a show about you go to an island and then you just play all these random sports and you're doing jet ski, you're playing table tennis, Mario Supreme Christmas Day, that type of stuff. The
So
boys
we have
down.
so we have the Wii Sports theme song.
Oh yeah.
We have a
Espresso.
baseball medley. We have golf. And then we have.
Wait, what's that song?
Which
That's
one?
What golfer? What's that
It's
say?
up on the screen. It's up on the screen.
Oh, okay.
Then we have bowling and we have boxing. So, we have tennis. And then we have.
Wait, they did not like us by Kendrick Lamar. Wait,
yes.
who is this?
This is Diamond Bar's men's group this past year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
I love that. That's great. That's awesome. But okay, yeah. So yeah, back to what we're talking about.
The only group to do not like us.
First, the Trailblazers, for real. I am a sport aficionado. Like, I love watching sports. I am a sports oriented person besides family. Like, family and sports. Those are kind of the big two things. Like, I am gonna go on the side of no, I don't like them, and it's kind of crazy because I feel
you
like
got some explaining to do.
I do. I now when okay, for example, when a sports show starts, I'm like, oh, this is fun. Like, this is a thing that I like. But then it always gets to a point where I'm like, this is a cornball show. Like, this is corny. Like that. Like, no offense to the people on stage sometimes, but like, I know you can't dribble a basketball. And that's just how it is.
I raise you the Twinsburg baseball show.
Okay, well,
do you think that show is corny? I know you've seen that show.
No, because I feel like they decided, hey, instead of taking like all of the baseball action like in it, let's make it into a show choir show. Like let it be a show choir show about baseball, not a baseball show choir show. You know what I mean?
Have you seen Keller Central's Friday Night Lights show?
Maybe tad bits of it.
Okay.
But you get what I'm saying though, and I
do.
This is some experience like with Sweens. I mean, my senior year we had a playground in playground song, and we had basketballs, we had baseball bats, we had footballs. Sometimes every practice, there's a ball that gets away from somebody, or and ends up in the crowd, and you're like, well, I thought we were supposed to be aficionados, like, and that's choreography though. So, and that goes on the docket.
Can't argue with Dwight. Yep.
And I'm not saying that show choir kids aren't athletic, because I know so many show choir kids that are crazy in different arrays of sports, like unbelievable. But it's just like, okay, every now and then I'm like, it's not believable. I feel like it's harder to make believable nowadays. So, that's why it's kind of on my naughty list. I always love watching them in the end. I'm like, that's something I'm gonna remember. But I just feel like the execution part of it kind of like misses for me.
It's very fair. I feel like there is a propensity sometimes to be like, oh, haha, it's sports ball. We don't really do that as show.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking.
And it does get kitschy at times, but there are just too many shows done right for me to put this on the naughty list. The Twinsburg baseball show, if you haven't seen that one, go watch it. It's like peak Twinsburg era show design and costuming and everything that defined the 2010s at Twinsburg.
Have I ever showed you the voice crack in that from The Soloist?
I don't think so.
Oh my gosh, all time. There's no way they ever watch this, but all time voice crack from The Soloist after she walks down the stairs that the bats are. She's singing "Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend," and oh my gosh, all time. But anyway, sorry, that's where my mind went.
Keller Central's Friday Night Lights show. There's something special about a group in Texas doing a high school football show, because that's where they take it the most seriously. And the Wii Sports show that we let off with, something like that, where
yeah,
it's kitschy, but it's purposefully kitschy. because a lot of times things are kitschy without it being purposefully kitschy, but
Mhm.
either if you're doing it the right way or you're specifically lampooning it, like Hastings did a Sandlot show this past year. And I
Yeah.
believe Bill's Men also did an executive show.
Yeah, they
or
did.
They did do an executive show because they're always called the executives. But
Yeah.
they did a Sandlot
I
show
usually
this
do those ones.
past year in 2025. And, you know, whether you're doing it right or you're purposely lampooning, great. It just please don't fall into the trap of being kitschy without meaning it. But overall, these are going to go on the nice list for me.
Okay.
I think that makes 3 on the nice list for me. So.
Yeah, I lost count. I think I'm more on the naughty. I'm kind of surprised. I was gonna put more on the nice, I thought, but no. My mindset's not in the holly jolly spirit, I guess. Maybe maybe I need to check my list twice.
I think you need a show clip to get you in the holly jolly mood.
Yeah, you want to get a show clip going?
Yeah, I think one of the defining 2020s Christmas shows comes to us from Mississippi, from the Pedal Sound Stations, a dance break that will live in either fame or infamy, depending on who you ask. But without further ado, the Pedal Sound Stations Christmas show.
Snow, snow, oh, say you won't go, 'cause I'm so happy to spend this time with you.
Candles glow, so happy that I can see you again. Wonderful time with my family and friends. Ain't nothing better than this. For all we know, this time may not come around again. And that's why I never wanted to end. It's such a beautiful bliss.
Kids everywhere dancing in the Christmas cheer. Kids are waiting.
All right, that was a little bit of the Pedal Sound Stations Christmas show. We're going to do some rankings and predictions.
Yeah,
do you have any thoughts?
muted. So yeah, it was a Nutcracker show, which I mean, shout out to them for doing that whole adaptation. That seems like something hard to do and pull off that way with the that backdrop is just kind of iconic with the huge Christmas tree and all that stuff coming around it. Yeah, that's just such a great visual that they did.
So a lot of you who are watching this podcast may also be aware that Homeroom Show Choir does both national and regional show choir rankings. So we thought, what would a Christmas episode be without rankings of some kind? And so we are going to rank Christmas movies in the traditional format in a Midwest competition where 6 groups make finals. We are going to have 7 Christmas movies. So one of them for each of us will miss finals, and then we'll give out awards, 5th runner-up through grand champion. Maybe we'll give captions for things like
let's do the best band,
best band for best soundtrack. How about
show design? Show design or band? Pick. Where are we at? Are we down south or
we'll do show design.
Okay,
that's more fitting for a movie.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
So our choices, Ethan, listen closely. Home Alone, Elf, A Christmas Story, Polar Express, Christmas Vacation, A Christmas Carol, and Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
The claymation ones, like the stop motion?
We can do the animated ones, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's tough. I'm gonna have to make a list. So I'm gonna be typing away during this so I don't forget any because I know it's kind of how it's gonna go. All right, so based off that list,
let's start with which one do you think is not making finals?
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm going. Not making finals. I'm gonna go. The last group you mentioned. I'm going Rudolph. I know they won last year, and they're the reigning champ, and that's why they went last. In the day, but it's a different competition this year. It's kind of how it goes. All time, it's a classic, but sometimes classics need to change it up and do a better show. And learn from this. It kind of what happens. It varies from year to year. Comp gets better. So making finals in my last spot. This is what kind of when it gets tough for me, because all these are important. I feel like there is technically no wrong answer. There probably is, but that's kind of what I'm thinking. I'm gonna put. For some reason, Polar Express seems like a sixth place group.
Really?
Okay, so my brain is kind of going to like an Iowa competition where like the 5 or the 4 through 7 or 4 through 6 are like extremely tight.
Okay.
Because that's kind of what I'm thinking when I think of this list. So at 5, I'm gonna put I'm gonna put A Christmas Carol.
Okay.
Another all-time great movie. An older, vintage show, choir show. They never disappoint. They just slid back a little bit this year. So, and I'm kind of thinking of like the Gretnas and the Gretna East. I feel like those choirs are kind of overtaking the scene, and those choirs is the remaining field of Home Alone, Elf, Christmas Story, and Christmas Vacation. So,
okay.
in 4th place, it's going to be Christmas Vacation.
Okay.
And so we're going to get right into the podium here. Second runner up. I'm going to go. It's so hard. I'm going to go. I'm going to go Elf. Elf in my 3 spot. Fan favorite for sure. However, at this competition, they just couldn't hand it with the big dogs. People love their joy. They win the fan favorite award every time. You have great costumes. People go just to see them. They're kind of, in my mind, like a Twinsburg. They're a show that are prime Twinsburg 2010s. Like, you have to go see Twinsburg show. If you miss it, you'll never see it again type beat. However, I think these 2 big dogs in Home Alone and A Christmas Story are just staples. And now it's down to these 2, right? So in my mind, Home Alone is more of, yes, they've been around the block a time or 2. However, they are that younger choir that is really hungry. And they're kind of, in my head, the Lin-Mar. They're kind of my Lin-Mar, I'm thinking. And A Christmas Story, that's my Ankeny Centennial. That's my Ankeny. So I'm going to go Home Alone is going to win GC here. So A Christmas Story is going to win first runner-up. First place is going to be Home Alone. And then my captions are going to be I kind of want to do like a crazy caption here. I'm going to do best. I'm going to do some crazy ones. Best set is Home Alone, Home Alone. Because you Kevin Malone the house. You Home Alone the house. Best set. That's how you end up winning the day. Best show design. I think it's got to be Elf. I think best show design is going to be Elf. Best choreography, I'm gonna go Christmas Vacation, and then best vocals is gonna be A Christmas Story. So Home Alone's gonna win with just best set.
You are crazy.
That's
in many ways. Specifically with this caption split.
Yeah, I just feel bad for Polar Express. It definitely could have been higher. However, like Christmas Carol is just giving me that gritty vibe of like, yeah, they're just such a experienced veteran show choir, and it's hard to get around them when you're playing childish games like the Polar Express does. So that's kind of what I was thinking.
Well, at least your caption split was not as crazy as
best female soloist though is Polar Express. That girl that sings, not the boy though, not the boy, the girl who sings. Oh, and then best male soloist is definitely Elf. So those are my.
So
Those
Elf picking up 2 captions. Okay.
yeah, well, Elf himself, and then Elf the choir.
Okay.
So
All right. That's fair. That's fair. I
All right,
at least
well,
there's
I gotta
no
go yours because it's got to be it has to be different from mine because it just has to be.
not making finals for me. As much as I hate to say this, is Polar Express. Polar Express is a legacy
See?
program. Polar Express has been around for a long time. Just didn't have the juice in them this year, and that's okay. Some years are like that. Maybe you know have a weak crop of upperclassmen. You know that's okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're just the 7th group in a 6-group finals. 6th for me is going to be Christmas Vacation. Christmas Vacation is your textbook group where the individual performers are very talented. They just cannot get it together as a group. The tenors don't blend. The 2 people in the 3rd row left riser are just way out in left field on the choreography. They're all great in their own right. The group itself just you want so much more out of it.
Your analysis, I feel like it's so strong on that. That was great analysis. I love that one because I mean it's carried so hard by like 3 people, and then like everyone else is like they're funny in their own rights. However, but it's like, or they carry their own weight a little bit, but it's not like you just forget about them end of the day.
So Christmas Vacation, maybe they had a really stellar daytime performance and they made finals, but in finals it just kind of fell apart. People showed their true colors. Christmas Vacation is going 6 for me. At the 5, I'm going to share a placement here, and I am going to go with A Christmas Carol, which was also your 5th. Christmas Carol, it's a show that makes you think. It's not something like any of the show themes that we mentioned in the last segment. It's not a kitschy weather show or road trip show or sports show. It's deep. However, it may not have the best vocals. It may not have the best choreography. But at the end of the day, you think, you know what? My day was better because I watched that show. Coming home 4th for me is going to be Elf. Elf is...
Wow.
Yep.
Sorry.
Elf is a story show that is dominated by the lead, and the lead is great, but sometimes you want more from the choir. The choir maybe is standing still for long periods of time, or they're not singing for long periods of time. And also there are certain bits and pieces of the story that don't really make sense. So
whoa, okay, wait. What do you mean by that? Also, they do have a great choir when they're all singing together Santa Coming to Town near the end of the movie. But anyway.
I didn't say the choir was bad. I just said I wanted more out of them.
Okay. Okay, yeah, sorry. But what were we going to say earlier about Elf?
The story's a little light in the introduction. It's just kind of like...
Whoa. Like, you don't like Mr. Narwhal? You don't mess with Mr. Narwhal? You need Mr. Narwhal in the front row corner holding that spot. You need him doing that. And what do they call the Frosty Snowman? It's like Leo or Leonard or something.
I don't remember.
He's riser 4, but he's holding center. You need that guy.
You do, and that's why they're a finals caliber choir. That's why they're not missing finals. They have the people they need.
You need Leon the Snowman.
Sometimes you want more out of them. Coming in 3rd for me is Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Yes,
and Rudolph is a choir that's been around for a bazillion years. Rudolph is a choir that's had a very successful history, but right now Rudolph is maybe outgunned a little bit. Maybe they don't have the biggest group. They don't have the most complex arrangements. They don't have the most complex choreography, but the group is performing the material to the absolute best that they could be. And that's what gets them there. Perhaps not the complexity, but the simple execution. And it's a show that's lightly themed, but it makes sense. And at the end of it, you feel good.
You know what? You bring up a really, because I was about to battle that, saying it's a one-man band. However, that one man, it made me think, you know what, you're right. That one-man band makes the whole team better. Like, insanely better. Like, they can't do their job without him, and they're all in sync. So I feel like that was a good point.
Coming home 2nd for me is going to be Home Alone.
Yeah.
right? So Home Alone, it is a hilariously funny show. Home Alone is one of those shows where they announce the show theme in the read beforehand, and you're like, no, this sounds too good to be true. Like the choir's going to come out there, and every song's going to be a novelty song, and at the end of it, you're just going to want it to be done. And it's somehow not that. And it's very funny, and it's a very good technical production. It just doesn't quite have the best mix of ingredients to become number one. And the choir that does have the best mix of ingredients to become number one is A Christmas Story. A Christmas Story has all of the right faces in all of the right places. You have plenty of sopranos, you have plenty of altos, you have plenty of tenors, you have plenty of basses. You have moments throughout the show, because what do people remember? People remember moments. People remember the tongue getting stuck to the flagpole. People remember the eye getting shot out by a BB gun. People remember those moments, but in between those moments was a very solid product. There are no pacing issues in this show. This show flows exactly like it's supposed to. Maybe the ballad is a little early on. Maybe the ballad's in the 2 spot, but that's okay, because sometimes the ballad in the 2 spot works. And even if the ballad's in the 2 spot, by the end of the set where they're dancing and singing their hearts out, they still don't get tired. There's still plenty of energy right up until the end. And at the end, all of it resolves on a nice note. So A Christmas Story for me is taking home the grand championship. I'm going to give them best vocals as well. I'm going to give Home Alone best choreography, mainly because of all the chase scenes.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of best set, I am going to give best set to Elf, simply because of the diversity of places that it takes place in. You're in, busy. You're in busy downtown. You're in the North Pole. You're here, there, and you're everywhere. In terms of soloists, I'm going to give best male soloist to Christmas Vacation, because even though they were the 6th place choir, they were the 6th place choir because they were carried by people in their group. So I'm going to give Christmas Vacation the best male soloist award. Best female soloist award. This one's a tough one. I don't know what I think I might give this to Polar Express as well. A Miss Finals plus best female soloist announced at prelims award. And were we awarding any other ones?
You did best show design.
Oh, best show design. Best show design, I'm going to give to A Christmas Story because it flowed super well. So I'm going to go A Christmas Story with vocals and show design. I am going to give Home Alone choreo in second, Rudolph third, Elf fourth, with best set, Christmas Carol fifth, Christmas Vacation sixth with soloist, and Polar Express not in finals with the other soloist award.
No wrong answers. No wrong
answers. Put your rankings in the comments.
Yeah,
and we'll see. Perhaps
honestly, I want to see what you guys think. So
perhaps we can consensus ordinal rank this. We'll see.
I feel like you brought up a lot of really good points, but it's like Rudolph, the stop motion. It's just so unique. You're right. It's so unique and it's so like done. I feel like little Jimmy has to see Polar Express every single year. He doesn't have to see.
Yeah, and they performed in prelims.
Yeah, but Jimmy paid for all day ticket. He didn't pay for just the day.
That's okay. He gets 6 shows that are better than Polar Express in the finals. I personally don't see the problem with this.
I mean, Tom Hanks, tries to do so much, and he tries to pull that group all the way together. He plays like 5 different parts in it. So.
He does. That is very true.
I'll get honorable nod. Best male performer. I'm giving him
sure.
Best male performer.
Yeah.
They didn't make finals for you. They made finals for me at the 6th spot.
Yeah.
So clearly they're on that line for us. I feel like we both agreed with Christmas Carol on the placement. Like it's just such like an iconic movie that's deep, and you want that in finals to switch things up, and I mean we had the same top 4. Or no, besides Rudolph. But I mean, I feel like it could go anyway. But please, I want to see people drop this in the comments because I'm actually very intrigued by this. It's Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Polar Express, Christmas Carol, Christmas Vacation, Elf, A Christmas Story, and Home Alone. So put those in the comments and give them captions, and we'll see who they're more like, mine or Will's.
We will see. And we're going to move on to our next segment, which is Christmas group names. I think group names are one of the things where, like, if you're thinking about starting a choir, all of us think about that theoretically. Like, the group name is always something that you want to lock down, whether it's there's a group out there that you really like their group name, or whether you have an idea for something that's totally different. We're going to do some Christmas group names. We're going to see what lands the best and what doesn't. But before we do that, we are actually going to take a detour into
just like what we were talking about.
Into what we were just talking about. There was a show that won first place for Ethan and second place for myself, and that was Home Alone. And there was a show choir this past year that did a Home Alone show.
I was lucky enough to see it, thank goodness. It was great. It was a great show. It was so much fun.
Absolutely. So we are going to give you guys a look at Urbandale Studios 2025 Home Alone show.
Dancing merrily in the old-fashioned way.
This is my house! I have to defend it!
That was Urbandale Studios 2025 Home Alone show.
And like that was just the beginning of like all the mischief that goes on in that house. But like when he goes and he shoots that like Nerf gun or whatever it is, and he shoots it perfectly at the doggy door every single time, it's hysterical to see in person. You're like, no way that they said, hey, do you mind, like, for our show choir show this season, putting your head through a doggy door and getting shot in the face with a Nerf gun, Nerf bullet? Like, that is just so genius. And there's so many different parts, and there's like a spider and from the movie. It was amazing show design. They did a great job with it.
Absolutely. A decorated show, and director Ted Brimeyer's last as well, as Urbandale is now under the direction of Adam Brown. So we're going to head back to the previously advertised segment of Christmas group names. And my first one is perhaps a bit of projection, because if you look on my background, it's a little light. And so I found a middle school group from Beatrice Middle School in Nebraska called Declaration. I'm going to change that group name to Decoration, because I don't have very many Christmas decorations up right now. But I think that would play as a group name. You add some decorations, like sometimes your awards or placements are called decorations, or you do fun and colorful shows or something like that. So I think Decoration, or Decorations plural, could be a good name.
Yeah, no doubt. I think that's a good one. I want to give a shout out just overall to the high school Snowflake, and I believe it's Arizona. Used to have a show choir back in 2007. I believe they performed at Fame Branson, where they didn't get a placement. But the Snowflake High School Madrigal Singers was their group name. Rest in peace, Snowflake High show choirs. However, who thought they would get a shout out in a Show Choir Nation podcast in the big 2-5? So shout out to them.
Let's give some shout outs to some other groups that were there real quick. Grand champion with best vocals, Johnston.
Yep.
Second place with best choreography, the Spanish Fork Ambassadors, which is a group out of Utah that has not existed in a long time. Third place with best band, Homestead Class Royale. Fourth place, the Duke Ellington School of the Arts Show Choir from Washington, D.C. Fifth place, Spanish Fork Premier. This was a competition with 17 groups, and Spanish Fork put their 2 groups in second and fifth. And sixth place, the Light Entertainment Company from the Light Project, also in Arizona. So Arizona, almost, I mean, we think Arizona show choir is in a renaissance right now, but clearly they were not playing around in 2007 either.
They weren't.
Some other names at that competition that did not make finals: Diamond Bar Marquee, Nevada Soundsational Singers, Hannibal River City Review, Smith Cotton New Score Singers, Picayune Memorial Tidal Rave, which was a program in Mississippi for a long time, Chantilly Touch of Class from Virginia, and Sundance Adrenaline from Sundance, Wyoming.
Wow.
So the famed Show Choir Cup 2007, just a competition that defies all description. So shout out to the Snowflake High School Madrigal Singers. We have a lot of choraliers in the show choir world. Fairfield, Zionsville, Reedsburg. I'm sure some others that I'm missing right now. How about we turn our choraliers into our caroliers for Christmas caroling?
Yeah, and I'm kind of going in the same direction. My next one is a school called Carroll in Indiana. You might have heard of them, Fort Wayne area. But I'm going to call them Carol of the Bells.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't want to do carolers because you kind of already did that. So we're going to do Carol of the Bells. Or you just call Carol of the Bells. And they're just technically their group name is Of the Bells.
Revolutionary.
Dude, yeah. I think that'd be cool, pretty cool.
Is that just Fort Wayne Carol, or is that also South Lake Carol in Texas?
You know, it could be that one too. Definitely.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll see. Ethan, he's got some nice Christmas lights going on that tree on the background there.
I do.
And so we have several choirs that are named Lights or something of the sort. A special shout out to the Mundelein Lights, which are a group that no longer exists, but that definitely outclassed my program once or twice when I was in high school. That's probably the best Lights memory I have from my competition days. But want to give a shout out to Voyager Academy. Their group is the Bull City Lights, but I think they could be the Bull City Christmas Lights pretty easily.
Yeah.
Charlotte, it's a great city. Or actually, no, the Bull City is Durham. Sorry, not Charlotte. But Durham, part of that research triangle. It's a very not uppity area, but it's an area that has some class and dignity. And so I think the Bull City Christmas Lights would be a pretty good group as well.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good pull. This one, kind of in the sense of like Carol, those two schools, I found a group that high school has a Christmas theme in their high school name, the Edmond Santa Fe. So,
giving Oklahoma some love.
Yeah, so I'm gonna give their name is there's so many different ways you could do this one. However, I want to go in a different direction. The Edmond Santa Fe Sleighs. I feel like they stay on stage and they fly in the night with the sleigh and Santa. So the Edmond Santa Fe Sleighs. I feel like that kind of rolls off the tongue pretty good.
It does. I like that one a lot. And I also like the fact that we're talking about Oklahoma because we don't do that a lot. So
yeah, ain't no love in Oklahoma. So
no. The Edmond Santa Fe Sleighs. There we go.
Yeah,
I like that one a lot. So we've already filled a finals full of Christmas group names. So if on the off chance anyone actually does any of these, please let us know and we will do our absolute best to see you in person.
Yeah. Or if you have a Christmas concert coming up.
Yeah.
Call yourself one of these for a little bit.
We'll order your merch, all that kind of stuff. So if any of this ever happens, let us know. We're gonna throw it to another show clip. We started off with Pedal, and we're gonna throw it right back down to Mississippi. This one, a bit more of a vintage clip, if I dare say that. So this one, a relic of pre-pandemic era show choir coming to us from Brandon, Mississippi, out of Brandon's 2020 holidays show. A little bit of a Christmas medley here.
Oh, this one's Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Jingle bells, jingle bells. Jingle bells, jingle bells. Jingle bells, jingle bells. Jingle bells, jingle bells. Jingle bells, jingle bells.
That was Brandon Brio out of their 2020
Jingle
holidays show. If you thought we were off the wall with Christmas group names, it's about to get a lot
Yeah, I
crazier.
don't know about this one. We'll see.
This is one of those research and development ideas that someone had, and we're like, sure, why not? We'll do this. A Christmas character judging panel. So we are going to have 6 Christmas characters because we've been doing a lot of things in 6s this episode, and we are going to figure out where they would judge on a show choir judging panel. So, Ethan, would you prefer if I read off all 6 and then we decide where each of them go, or read off one at a time and we just kind of fill out the panel that way?
Let's do one at a time. You know, I feel like
One
they
at
all,
a time.
all deserve their love individually. So let's just do one at a time.
All right. Well, we're going to lead off with the anchor of this judging panel, the one man that we absolutely have to put on there, and that is Santa Claus.
Mm-hmm.
What does Santa Claus judge?
I feel like he needs, you know, he's definitely the heaviest man on this judging panel, you know, and you know, what has the most weight on a score sheet?
Vocals.
And he's somebody that goes ho ho ho, you know. Clearly, you know, he knows jaw shape, he knows vowel shape, he knows up the jaw. Yeah, exactly. You need to get in there.
Right,
You
yeah.
need that latch
Yeah.
up and down. But yeah, so I'm gonna put him at vocals. What do you think?
I totally agree. I think
Yeah.
a man whose catchphrase is ho 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 has to be judging vocals. Next question.
Exactly.
Which is Mrs. Claus.
Well, I feel like she needs to be in either show design. Let's do show design / but mostly costumes. I want her in costumes. But you know, I'm gonna mix that in with show design in general. I feel like, you know, she sews Mr. Claus's mittens all the time, his suit, all that stuff. She clearly knows how to put the needle in the fabric. And she definitely has opinions on what these groups are wearing on stage. So I'm gonna have her in costume / show design.
I agree with that. I don't necessarily have any great ideas, except that she can't also be judging vocals. I feel like it would be it could lead to some disagreements depending on if they saw things differently, and you certainly don't want to have your vocal judges fighting on the panel. So we're going to put Mrs. Claus on show design and costumes. Where are we going to have the lead elf judge? So Santa's number 1 elf. What's he judging?
I feel like this kind of has to go again with like show design, because I'm wrapping in like sets. I'm wrapping in like sets, props, all that kind of stuff. Like he knows how to handle the toys, all the goodies on top of a good show. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. You know, he hands out, you know, best stage crew. He definitely has that ability in him. That's kind of where I'm leading, Will. What do you think?
I was actually going to go with critique. I feel like he is.
You know what?
He is someone.
I'm with you on that. Like he's a younger, up and coming, you know, choreographer or something of that nature, and you know he's running back and forth between what the judges say and stuff. You know, that's a really good point. That's a great point, Will.
And he has to run a tight ship in the elf toy making factory. He's got to be over quality control. He's got to make sure that everything comes out right. He's very good at, I'm not going to say the criticism word. He's very good at letting people know how to improve. So we're going to go with that. Our next one is Frosty the Snowman. Where are we having Frosty judge?
This is the easiest choreography. Like, I feel like, do you know how smooth Frosty is? Do you know how smooth that man is with his top
He
hat?
is smooth.
his cane, like his choreography is insane.
And he's not even supposed to be moving. He's supposed to be an inanimate object.
He doesn't have legs, and he's just floating on stage. This guy is one of one. I feel like he has to be choreography.
All right. I totally agree with everything you say there. So we're going to put Frosty the Snowman down as our choreography judge. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
So I'm going back to kind of what we said earlier about the movie, Rudolph. He has to get all these people in line and following him and in motion. Like he knows how to lead and do choreography clearly to get people in a certain direction. However, I'm kind of going back to like the lead elf thing that you kind of broaden my horizons a little bit in the judging panel. I think he is a young choreographer. I see him as a young choreographer, trying to get his runs in. So he's going to be best performer judge. He is the lead of his group. Everyone follows him. He's definitely that person that you have to go see, and he knows what talent looks like. Despite looks or anything like that, like he knows, who the best people on stage are.
That's fair. I would certainly agree with that. I don't know if I would put Rudolph in critique simply because I agree with you that he's young, but he is like really, really young. And generally the rule of thumb is that your critique judges are really like supposed to be your most experienced judges. Mm-hmm. That way they are able to have the most thoughts and opinions and be able to guide the groups the best. So I don't know. I think I might have Rudolph as a choreography judge on the panel. But I would not be mad if Rudolph was a critique judge. I'll put it that way.
Well, I'm not making him critique. He's gonna be like, I like that guy.
Or best performer. Sure.
Yeah.
I would not be mad. You know what? Yeah, we'll put Rudolph with best performer because he clearly is a one of one on the reindeer team. So we'll put Rudolph as best performer judge. Our last judge that we have to assign is the gingerbread man.
This one's tough. However, I feel like the only spot I haven't really mentioned is band. I feel like I have to put him in band, just by almost process of elimination. However, like he knows, things could get offbeat in a hurry. Gingerbread all the time, they crumble, man. They only last a few days. He knows that in a heartbeat, the gingerbread house could be falling down. But however, if you make a mean gingerbread house and that backbone is keeping that house staying tall, it changes the whole show. And so I feel like he understands the importance of band and the combo that's behind the whole show.
I will agree with the gingerbread man as the band judge, and here's why. The gingerbread man does not have a name. And what I have found through that's really scary. Through my 10 years of show choir, I thought about it. I'm like, how many seasons have I done, either performing or watching? And the answer was 10.
You're about to get your Hall of Fame, your Hall of Fame vote, your Heisman vote.
That's scary. But what I found through my 10 years of show choir is that there are very few consistent band judges. And a lot of the band judges at comps, like you'll either see the bio in the program or they'll read off the bio. And they'll be like, Mr. or Mrs. So-and-so is the director of bands at XYZ High School, which is like 2 districts over, band director for 20 years, band directing at various schools around whatever state you're in. But like, there's no direct connection to show choir, and you will also never hear of them again. And I feel like the gingerbread man fits this role pretty well. The gingerbread man also makes appearances in other pop culture realms, such as Hansel and Gretel, which is not necessarily a Christmas media property, but is a pop culture thing nonetheless. And I respect that, similar to how a lot of show choir band judges, they don't necessarily have direct experience with show choir, but they run very successful curricular bands or marching bands or things like that. Right. So I would agree with you that the gingerbread man is probably the band judge here.
Yeah, and gingerbread man, he like you just said, he's all over the place. He is all over the place. He might be in your crumble cookie down the street. He's in Shrek. He's a huge part of Shrek. Like
he is.
he's ran those marching bands before, so I feel like that was a really good point you brought up.
And one character that we did not put on our judging panel, but that there is a show choir show about, is the Grinch. And there was a show about the Grinch this past season, and that was Lincoln Southwest Resonance out of Nebraska. I don't think either of us got a chance to see this show live, but it was the latest in what's becoming quite the emerging series of Lincoln Southwest media property shows, following up Chicken Little in 2024 and Wicked in 2023. And it was certainly, of the Christmassy shows, definitely one of the more unique ones, I think.
For sure. No doubt. And here it is.
Lincoln Southwest Resonance, just a little snippet of that show, but that's because sometimes the best things come in small quantities, or you got to wait a little bit later for them.
Yeah, we also don't want to give it away, though. I mean, we want you guys to watch these shows on your own, because I mean they're fantastic.
But that's our next segment, is things that perhaps we're going to open up a little bit later.
Ooh.
And that is Christmas gifts to the show choir community. And this is not any of Ethan or I's doing. We're not, we don't have the time to be doing Christmas gifts to every single show choir in America. We are busy enough running homeroom show choirs, regularly scheduled programming. But we do have some new groups and some new competitions coming on the scene this year. And this is always really great to see. It is always, always fun to see new ensembles coming out. Always fun to have new competition venues, new chances to slice and dice with all of your rivals, all of your buddies, all of that. So we're going to start with the new groups that are going on to the scene this year. And we are going to start in Arizona. We have Barry Goldwater High School, which, first of all, if you don't know who Barry Goldwater is, that's certainly worth a Google. A very influential figure in American history who sometimes the younger generation may not know about as much. But Barry Goldwater Momentum is a first-year show choir in Arizona. They are out of the Dysart School District in suburban Phoenix, which does have other show choir programs as well. I believe Valley Vista is among them. So one of the more recognizable Arizona show choir programs. So Barry Goldwater Momentum, definitely looking at, I think, at least one of the Arizona competitions this year. Moving over to Oklahoma, making our way from west to east, we do have Bixby Spartan Genesis. And this one is quite the story as well. Bixby Middle School debuted a show choir this past season, the Spartan Sensations. That was led by director Jace Caldwell, who is formerly at Broken Arrow Sequoia Middle School as part of the big Broken Arrow program. That program has now expanded up to the high school. So Bixby Spartan Genesis, also directed by Jace Caldwell. They've brought in James Mankle as choreographer, and James Mankle, well known in the Heartland, really kind of specializing in some of those smaller or less advanced groups. And I don't know if we should expect him to make an appearance at perhaps too many mainstream competitions. I believe they might be on the lineup for Jenks, that competition in Oklahoma. Otherwise, the rest of the comps in Oklahoma are on Wednesdays, and we really don't have a ton of information about them. But we are for sure knowing that they are going to compete in some capacity this year, which is great. We're going to move even further east to Mississippi as Ethan continues his gift wrapping journey. We'll see what comes out at the end. You might want to tape that down a little bit, man. We have Hattiesburg, and Hattiesburg, for you longtime show choir ball knowers, this is not an entirely new group. It is a return. So Hattiesburg Residents is the name of the new group. They are directed by Gary McCullum. And we're not sure where they will compete, but we have it on good authority that they will be competing this year. They last appeared as the Hattiesburg Tigers Untamed at the 2013 Mississippi Show Choir Contest. So it has been over a dozen years for Hattiesburg. It is great to see them back on the show choir scene after a long, long time. Something else that's going on is East Marion High School in Mississippi is getting a show choir. A lot of you Southern show choir observers may know of West Marion. They've been lighting small division on fire recently. East Marion, their Cross County High School, is developing a show choir as well. Their director was previously the director at Philadelphia High School when Philadelphia had a show choir. Their program fizzled out around 2016, but good to know that they have a director with previous show choir experience. Couple more that we want to hit on in this segment. One of them is Houston Academy in Alabama. They were scheduled to make their debut at Enterprise this past March before that competition was canceled. However, they do appear to be coming back for the season. They were in middle mixed in Enterprise last year, and they do have a pretty hardy competition schedule. They'll be doing Hoover on January 24th, Oak Mountain on February 7th, Enterprise on February 21st, and Auburn on February 28th. So good to see a really robust competition slate for Houston Academy. And the last one is Adele DeSoto Minburn in Iowa. Their group name is Uncharted, which I believe is the first show choir group I've seen called Uncharted. So always great to get a new group name in, as well as just a new group in general. They've had a middle school program for a couple years. So great to see them expanding up to the high school. Daniel Novotny is the director. He was formerly at Harlan, so he comes in with show choir experience. Jordan Webster Moore, who does a lot of these smaller Iowa programs, is the choreographer. So super cool to see ADM out there. And if you're ever in that area, certainly it's worth a drive off the interstate. Go take a look at the covered bridges of Madison County and enjoy the area around Adele, DeSoto, and Minburn, Iowa.
Great job, Will.
Thank you. I know I talked for a lot. I should have let you talk at some point in there.
No, you did good.
You seem busy though. How'd that wrap?
I was. Yeah, I ended up wrapping a gift. But do not look at the back. I would not make it as an elf in Santa's shop. There's no doubt about it. Yeah, but we're giving gifts to the community, so I decided we should start wrapping some of our gifts. A little late wrapping. Everyone, I swear, everyone doesn't get the wrapping done until like the night of, like Christmas Eve. There's always a few more gifts you have to do, but we do have some more gifts. We have some new competitions this year that are kind of a big deal. Some, and especially for some choirs that have been around for quite a while. So starting off at Van Buren Night Music. First off, great name, play off of their choir name. It's on January 10th in Ohio. Going to feature some massive choirs like Piqua, Euclid, and Marion Harding. Everyone knows Euclid, stand up. You know who I'm pulling for.
I do. Euclid against the world.
I mean, I love Marion Harding too, and Piqua. I mean, they're all three of those type of choirs are just fantastic. And then we're gonna move down to the Chillicothe Chile Groves Festival. Yeah, that's a great name. I love that, and I feel like they have a minor league baseball team or something that's called like the Chili Grove. I don't know. That's where my mind goes. But it's on January 24th, so it's the first month of the year. In Missouri. It's going to be featuring a pretty good matchup between a little choir named Blue Valley and Chesterton. Chesterton from Indiana, Blue Valley. Why am I blanking? Oklahoma?
Kansas.
Gosh. You said Oklahoma so many times today that my brain was fried. Yeah, but it's also going to feature in-staters Cathridge and Hannibal. So, I mean, that's going to be a really, really good little battle there. And then we're going to be moving to Ohio. The same date, January 24th, the River Valley Voices of, how you say that? Valhalla? Valhalla.
Yeah.
Why Valhalla? Is it in Valhalla?
I really don't know. And I really don't know who's going to this competition either. It is shrouded in mystery.
If you know, let us know.
Yes.
For sure. However, that is a new competition this year in Ohio. You probably expect some of the smaller groups to go. You think so, Will?
I honestly have no clue because a lot of these smaller choirs in Ohio are going to North Royalton that day. So Van Buren, Taze Valley, Ada, Kenton, Edgewood, they are, although Edgewood, sometimes they drift into large division, they're all going to North Royalton. I think this is still happening, although I think this was put in motion by a director who's no longer at River Valley.
Okay.
So again, just totally shrouded in mystery. Their website has absolutely not been updated since last school year, which is okay.
Yeah.
It's just a fun little surprise waiting for us to see if and you know what, maybe
that's what gifts are, surprises. That's what
maybe someone like Hamilton shows up.
Ooh.
Or and I'm trying to think of like what other like random
like
small Ohio
did you say
programs.
Ross? Like Ross isn't that small, but
There's still in small division, I think.
Okay,
or like Ross, or maybe someone like Portsmouth, or someone like Alliance, or someone like that, and you just get a battle that you wouldn't be able to see a lot of other weekends.
Oh yeah, no doubt. And I mean, these other two comps are kind of a mystery too. So we will be heading to Iowa now in the second week of February. February 14th is the Harlan Cyclone Sensation. Cyclone. Everyone knows that T-Pain song. Amazing song. And it fits Will's tornado shows next year.
It does. Yeah.
So Harlan Cyclone Sensation, but spelled with a C. February 14th in Iowa. We're going next door to Nebraska.
We've got some good choirs signed up for this one.
Okay.
We've got Des Moines Christian Light Inc. signed up for this one. Yeah. Winners of multiple competitions last year. We've got Lamar's Crimson and Black signed up for this one.
Okay.
We've got Des Moines Lincoln Infinity. We've got the Westwood Rebelairs, and we've got one of my favorite show choir names, Manson Northwest Webster Quantum, signed up for this one. They are a single gender group, so they probably won't be competing for the overall win, but shout out Quantum, which is going to the Harlan Cyclone Sensation.
This next one, we could have another boxing competition on our hands. I mean, just based off the name, I mean, we have a little handful like the Little Roadie Rumble and the Clash of the Sequence in Naperville. And there's so many more. However, the North Folk SmackDown will be held on March 7th in Nebraska. If it might join that boxing family, Will, that little fight for the crown or the heavyweight belt.
Yes. This is another one where it's shrouded in mystery. We don't really know who's going to this one. It's a new competition. It is not in either the Lincoln or Omaha metros. It is not way out there, but it's certainly out there. And I mean, that same weekend in Nebraska, we also have Lincoln Northeast The Rock, which has made its living as a small school competition, and also the Omaha North Viking Cup. So it's a bit of a crowded competition weekend. We'll see if it happens, but I think maybe we should do a side quest sometime in summer talking about all these wrestling comps.
We definitely should. And then there's some new high school competitions, Will.
Yeah, I love my middle school competitions as much as anybody. I relish the chance for middle schoolers to not just win their division, but say, oh, we were the overall best choir there today.
Yeah.
And we are losing not one, but two of those competitions this season. However, it is great for all of our high school show choir performers. They get extra chances to get out there and compete. So the Xavier Extravaganza in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, which was usually a middle school only competition, late February, early March, notable for having middle school finals, which I feel like they were the only competition in the country, regardless of middle school or not, to have a dedicated middle school finals division. Because, most middle school divisions, you're running them on Friday night. You don't have time for a finals division. I mean, if you're in the South, you have them performing until 1 a.m. with no finals. So they're dropping the middle school only, and they are going to a full high school event. And I believe there was a lineup out there, and there is a lineup out there right now. Some groups going to this one: Iowa City High School, Marion New Creation, Keokuk Purple Harmony, North Polk Nexus, and Des Moines Lincoln Infinity. So certainly a good field for that. That is now January 10th, so a very, very early season comp. Also, another competition that is tentatively changing from middle school only to high school is the Papillion La Vista Palace Invite in Nebraska. That one is on February 14th. We don't have an official lineup for this one yet. However, groups that have tentatively signed up for this one include Omaha Northwest and St. Thomas Aquinas from Kansas. This one was a very loaded middle school event last season. They had, I want to say, close to 20 middle school choirs. Let me double check. Nope, they did not have that many. But it did wind up with Liberty Middle School Flight, which is in the Papillion La Vista School District, winning the grand championship title for that. So we will see if that does expand into a high school competition or if it stays as a middle school competition.
Well, I hope everyone enjoyed those little gifts to the community.
Yes, sorry, I didn't wrap anything. I'm so sorry.
Here you go, Will. This is for you.
Thank you very much, Ethan. I got it.
It's a JBL speaker you can use in the homeroom before.
Man, can I use it in the bleachers in between groups too?
Please don't. Please do not.
Can I play it right outside the doors when I'm skipping the host exhibition performance?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay. Those of you who know me know that I may or may not have gotten in trouble before for skipping host exhibitions. So,
oh man,
we are gonna head towards the end of this. This is already a 1.5 length show, but we figure all the performers are certainly not having rehearsals over Christmas break, so they got to be pretty bored. But we are going to read one of the magnum opus pieces of Homeroom Show Choir. This one, an absolute staple of the site. It was published in advance of our first big season as a multi-staff site, and that is the great 28 stanza poem, "'Twas the Night Before Comp Season."
Insane.
Ethan, you are the composer of this poem. What made you do this?
I don't know. It was funny because I think what was it, 2020 when I wrote this originally, or 2022 or so, and this first time I looked back out on it in a long time, and I said, what was I doing what was I doing that was this bored? Definitely probably should have been studying for an exam of some sort when I was supposed to be doing this. However, it's kind of funny and it's on its own right and it's on its own show choir terms. So we definitely want to share it with this being our Christmas special. And we definitely have to set the mood, Will.
Yes.
We definitely have to set the mood. You know what that means. Your classic little. Oh, yeah.
There we go.
The vibes are set.
The vibes are set.
So now Will and I will start reading the night before calm season. It was the night before calm season when all through the nation the group was performing, not even the modulation. The tap shoes were placed in the costume racks with care in hopes the first edition soon would be there. The performers were nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of grand champs danced in their heads. Costume moms with their needles and dads with their clamps were getting prepared to receive their competition stamps. And out on the stage, there arose such a clatter, directors ran from their homeroom to see what was the matter. Away to backstage, they flew like a flash, tore open the curtains in a frantic, mad dash. The spotlights and the catwalk lit everything below, seeming ready for quite a big show. Then what to their surprise appeared above is but a miniature stage and 8 high-caliber judges. With a little flick of light, the lamps turned on quick. We all knew in a moment competition was top pick. More rapid than counts, the directors, performers, they came, and the MC's voice spoke and called the groups by name. Now Johnson, now Waltham, now Brandon and Burbank, on Carmel, on Loveland, on Waukee and Bemidji. To the top of the balcony, auditorium wall to wall. Now get ready, go warm up, and give it your all. Down the school hallways, the performers they flew. When they were lost, they found a host that knew. So back to the homerooms, they were able to regroup. Went over the judges' critiques, witting of previous miscues.
And then, in a twinkling, the finals had begun, the dancing and singing of every note being sung. As I was watching in awe, they danced and tumbled. During the performance, I heard my stomach let out a loud rumble. To the cafeteria I went, seeing all the options in sight. A Chick-fil-A sandwich, I was salivating for a bite. Just finishing up, my stomach at ease, I got a notification pop up on my phone screen. Call time is 8, do not be late. Be dressed and ready, we will not wait. I looked at the time, the homeroom I had to go, having to get ready for our finals show. Doing everything to clean myself up, I even brushed my teeth. I had them sparkled and shined, I even brushed underneath. The time had come, we stood in a line. We stood with our partners right by our sides. To the warm-up room we went, walking in style. We even gave our supporters a wave and a smile. When in the warm-up, we worked on our changes. Our director making sure we kept a smile on our faces. After working up a sweat, we were ready to work. We did our chants, our director held a smirk. When ready to go, our hosts let us down. When on the stage, we had the opposite of frowns. While in our windows, we couldn't wait any longer. As the curtain rose, the crowd noise got stronger. The MC, I heard him exclaim ere he drove out of sight, "Happy Comp Day to all, and to all a good night." The end.
Great. That was beautiful. So inspirational.
It's your own work. You deserve the credit for this. You were the one who wrote it. I'm just here reading the back half.
Oh my goodness.
I have never written a poem that long in my life. I can guarantee that. And there was no Chat GPT involved in that. We can also say that.
Oh no, definitely not.
Chat GPT
No,
was
there
not a
wasn't. It wasn't
thing
even
in this
around.
poem.
Like,
No,
I don't
no.
know how I did that actually.
It's a work of art.
I mean, I just kind of followed off the original, and thank goodness that I have a brain on my head and a brain in my head, so I'm just blessed.
And with that, there's really not much more else we can say. Besides, we will see you soon, just before it is Comp Day. But before we go, we will leave you one last gift. And that is, perhaps, the definitive show choir Christmas show of all time. Not a holiday show, not a seasons show, but a Christmas show straight up. We leave you with an incredible scene from Twinsburg Great Expectations 2014 and their Christmas show that won 3 competitions.